Well, welcome everybody. I've been interviewing some doctors, so if you've been watching our YouTube site and checking out some of our posts that we've been putting up lately, we've been interviewing doctors lately. I thought it was a great time to use some of my resources and all my years of teaching and educating and people I've been on platforms with to bring some of these teachers and educators in. And, as I was going through the process, I just said, wait a minute. I said, Dr. Christina is right here in our office, and she has so much to offer and a great story to tell about this incredible transformation that she's gone through over the last couple of years. And I think she's a real inspiration. I know she's inspiring patients constantly in our office because of the changes that she's made. And I wanted to try and get her story. I wanted her to just tell it so everybody can hear it, and hopefully somebody, or a lot of people get something out of it. So Dr. Christina, thank you for taking your time out of your weekend.
Absolutely.
We basking in the hot sun or playing on the beach somewhere to do this, to try and inspire our community to be a little healthier. But let's just start with a little bit of a background about the story. About what this transformation is.
Well, the transformation is a, physical, but also mental transformation. And I guess background. I went to chiropractic school.
That's it all started, huh?
Yeah. So I went to chiropractic school, and I'm going to talk about numbers for a second. So I weighed about 130, 135 going to chiropractic school. Looking back, I was like, dang, I looked good. But at the time, I thought I was fat. Like everybody thinks we're really hard on ourselves. But chiropractic school is stressful, and it's so fast paced, and you are trying to get through things, and your body is in constant stress alert all the time. My program is a little bit different than everybody else's. We have quarters, so our sessions are just very quick pace. So your first week, you may not be doing anything, but second week, third week, you're already starting to take exams. And so that stress, I did what I could do to eliminate it by eating, ice cream and having pieces of candy and having wine night with the girls while we were studying for exams. And then when board exams came around, it was more wine nights and potlucks where we're just indulging on lots of stuff that's not healthy for you. And I was friends with three other girls that were, what I thought anyway, maybe they're not, naturally thin, and had a completely different metabolism than I do and a completely different body than I do. So I just kind of thought I wouldn't change, because I wore yoga pants every day to school, and yoga pants definitely lie to you. They don't tell you that your body's changing. They let things just kind of slide through the cracks, if you will. And so over that 4 years of chiropractic school, I gained about 60 pounds.
So I like the way you tied in the beginning of this, that this is a physical transition, but there's a huge mental component to what was happening and the effects of stress and stress eating. And, slowly, gradually, these things take time to change, but, 4 years roughly, right?
Mm-hmm.
60 pounds. And then now you've got a lot of work on your hands, right?
Right.
To undo all the things you were doing to try and do a quick fix to something that was causing stress to your body, right?
Right.
So since that period of time, let's talk about what's changed.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a backstory, I suppose. It's going to kind of guide in through there. May of 2018, I was in a wedding with one of the girls that I was friends with in chiropractic school, and me looking at my body and looking at their bodies, I started to really feel even more insecure about myself than I had previously. Now, when I moved to Virginia, I, had that extra 60 pounds, and then a year later, it was probably another 10. So I had a lot more going on than I previously had when they last had seen me. So that added weight affected my mental health, but also my physical health. And that's the biggest part of my journey, is both components being affected and me working on both of them at the same time. So in August of 2018, I had seen on like Instagram or Facebook or whatever an ad for a weight loss program or weight loss app. And so that was about the time that I made that mental choice to really take my health into my own hands. I was tired of feeling down. I was tired of feeling bad about myself. And, I was drawn to this app because it had a different approach. It's not like Weight Watchers. It's not like just counting calories. They developed this as a cognitive behavioral therapy, if you will. Like, they are changing the way that you think and the way that you deal with things so that you can be successful in this journey that you're trying to put yourself through. So, I mean, when I did this, there was a lot of struggles, especially in the beginning. Anything from, the biggest struggle is cutting calories. Like with anybody, when you're cutting down on something that you're used to doing or having, and just all of that, like it's a struggle, a huge struggle. And it made me somewhat of an unpleasant person. I'm sure that you could ask any of the team members. I don't really recall that. I think I have blocked it out.
Don't remember.
But I definitely was not a bright ray of shining sun or anything like that. But some other struggles were social activities. I had to pick and choose what social activities I did and how I was going to prepare myself for them. Maybe I brought a healthier option to an activity, like I did book clubs, and we have like a potluck, so I'd always try to bring something healthy. Or if I was out to eat with somebody, I insisted that they share something with me so that I would eat less than I should.
I like that.
So yeah. Then the app's really great. It has a lot of tools that I've benefited from. One of the other things that I struggled with was exercise. And the app doesn't necessarily force you to do any sort of exercise. However, it is encouraged. And in the beginning, I was not ready to go to a gym and work out in front of people. That sounded horrific to me. And so I did do some yoga from this girl on YouTube that I really like, and she has like a 30-day challenge. I did that, and I did definitely feel different afterwards. Like, my body felt differently. So from about August to November or December, I think it was late November, I decided to go ahead and join the rec centers. So I went from just doing some light yoga at home to going to the rec center. But before that happened, I think I dropped about 20 pounds. So I definitely was mentally changing, but also physically changing. I was preparing myself to really work a little bit harder. Now, I'm definitely not an exercise enthusiast. I absolutely hate going to the gym. It is a constant struggle for me. During this whole quarantine business where everything's been shut down, like this has been the worst thing for me. I needed that validation of going somewhere and having that accountability of seeing the instructor and all the people. And so this was extremely hard. So my willpower definitely was being challenged at this point. But the first things that I did at the rec center was just, you know, treadmill, elliptical, maybe a little bit, stationary bike, that sort of thing, where I would walk, maybe even jog a little bit, got my stride, worked up to doing a little bit more than just jogging and being able to run. And as my confidence grew, I decided that I would take a high intensity interval training class on a Sunday. Man, it was fun.
Like that.
It was fun. It was, you know, fast paced and full of energy and made me feel really good afterward. But holy smokes, the next few days, like 4 days to be exact, I hurt everywhere. I couldn't sit down, I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk, I couldn't laugh, I couldn't adjust. And that's kind of a big thing. Like, as a chiropractor, did we not know that we use almost all of our muscles to adjust somebody? I now know that we use pretty much our entire body to adjust somebody, because that class let me know. I definitely could not do that again because it was too much and I hurt too long for me to successfully work and be healthy at the same time.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that again, but I don't discourage anybody from doing that. It's fine. What I did decide to do was try out a different class, and that's called Body Pump. So it's a Les Mills program class, and it is a weight training and cardio class. And it's been my favorite. So the only reason it's my favorite, I think, is because if you have a good instructor, if you have a good teacher, you know, they're the biggest things. You always remember the best teachers, right?
Right. Sure.
When I walked in, she's like, "You look new." And I was, and she insisted on letting me know exactly what I needed to be doing, how to do it, so that I didn't hurt myself. And even after a year and a half of me doing body pump, she still talks to me in my head when I'm doing it. So she's left a huge impression on me.
Awesome.
So yeah, I did that, you know, along with just going to the gym with, you know, running on the treadmill and all of that stuff. So I did a couple of those classes, and then it moved to doing 3 or 4 classes to sometimes doing like 5 or 6 classes a week. Because I'm a little crazy. But even though I struggle with wanting to exercise, these classes definitely made it more enjoyable. And I do more than just body pump now. Like, I do bar, I do Zumba. Even though I'm extremely uncoordinated, I do them. And it's fun. And I think that's the biggest part, is like, if you're going to go to the gym and do activities like that, you need to do things that are fun and maybe make your friends go with you. It definitely made Laura, that I didn't make her, but I talked to Laura about going to some classes with me, and she did. And yeah, it makes it more fun. And over the last year and a half, 2 years, almost 2 years, my body's definitely changed. I have some pretty sweet muscle definition in some areas that I didn't have before, and that's kind of awesome. But I think the biggest thing about all of this and being able to do any of this is that I got adjusted. And it kind of blows my mind that people exercise and don't get adjusted. Because I have been told in classes that I've got really great form, that things are, like, you know, you look like an instructor. And I actually think that it could be because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but also because I get adjusted. I don't have nearly as many subluxations as somebody next to me who's never been adjusted. So I work better, I function better, I'm able to do these things better because of being adjusted. And I get adjusted about at least twice a week. And that's definitely this whole process has definitely changed me from the inside out. And I had to start with the mental before the physical could happen.
Yeah. So you said some really, I think, key powerful things. If I can just kind of keeping them in my head as you're talking. Number one was, that you're made new behaviors. You're not. This isn't a diet. This isn't a fad. This isn't lose 30 pounds in a week. Something that's stressing your body, probably maybe even causing more sickness over time. To stress your body that much to make that rapid a change. This has been a very slow, steady, and I mean, you've learned new behaviors, and it's difficult to change habits and change behaviors and get into new patterns, and that you have to be willing to stick with it to get past that point where you can almost say that you enjoy doing what you're doing, and then to realize that change has made a profound, in my observation, change in your personality and your behavior as well. It's your body and your mind are so connected in how they function with each other that as your body was getting healthier, your mind and your thinking was getting healthier at the same time as well, and vice versa.
Definitely.
So I thought that was really great. It was really great information. And what for you, I mean, obviously you say things like, I struggle with this and I struggled with that and we struggle, but what's the thing that how long has this been going on, first of all?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years that you've been incredibly consistent. And like everybody, we have a moment, like you say, but you've been incredibly consistent over the last 2 year period of time. What is it that can you attribute that to something that where most of us start and stop and start and stop and start and stop through our entire lives that's kept you consistent for almost 2 years?
Well, I mean, the way that I feel both mentally and physically continues to inspire me and keeps me driven toward maintaining this health goal. As I've been through this journey, my successes have also inspired others to take their health into their hands, from team members to practice members, and that also is a huge inspiration to know that I'm inspiring somebody else. So it keeps me from falling off off the
Yeah,
course.
it's almost like you said before, the accountability of the people at the gym, the accountability of a friend, the accountability of the instructor, the accountability of your own patients and practice members and staff and we have in the office and team. And you're just sitting here saying, like, you've got this group that you almost don't want to let down because of how much you've inspired them, and how good that feels to be able to inspire other people.
Yeah.
Which really leads me directly into my last question, which is give us something. What would you ask of me, of our team, of our community, of our patients? It's so important to myself and you and our team to have a healthier community around us all the time. Ask them to do something. What would you ask them to do? First step.
Well, first step, I guess, it's a little complicated. So I believe that life is a journey. It's about figuring out what works best for you. And this is just a small piece of my journey, and I'm hoping that it encourages others, but I want people to find what works for them. This may not even be something that somebody needs to hear right now, but my hope is that even slightly, a little bit, that it does inspire you. There is something that I do every day that's aside from eating healthy and exercising. I do what we call in our coaching group a gas card, and G is for gratitude, things that you're grateful for. A is for action, not a to-do list. It's something that's going to help you achieve your goals. And then S is selfless service. So for me, every single morning, I'm doing this, and my grateful things are something silly, but like coffee, because that's one of the things that I'm grateful for. But also, I tell myself that today's a new day. And this one is a huge one for me because it's something I learned in Noom. It's a phrase I learned in Noom, and it's telling you not to beat yourself up over something that you may have done the previous day. So my ask is for everyone to do something healthy, whether it's getting adjusted, doing a gas card, if that's what you want to decide to do now, and I highly encourage that. If it's exercise, if it's praying, if it's just eating a healthy meal. I want you to do something healthy for yourself so that you feel better about yourself every single day.
I love that. I love that. I had no idea that's where you were going to go with that, but that's a great thing. I mean, the gas cards, as we call them, nicknamed, but to just even be able to take your mindset and start your day with what you're grateful for. And some days as we do these things, you're grateful for all these wonderful and amazing things. And some days you wake up and I mean, really, it's just, if you could just have a cup of coffee, your day would be better. And, just grateful for that cup of coffee today. And, so yes, it could, there's something spiritual, and then there's this just a cup of coffee.
Yes.
So yeah, I get it completely. And I think that's a great ask. And it's a good way to start for everybody to understand that this is a process. It's a lifestyle change. It's not some quick fix to learn how to do this. We have a lifetime of horrible habits that we've, so ingrained into our nervous systems, and that, to try and change that is difficult. Getting adjusted helps. Repattern your nervous system and how your body works makes everything easier, of course. To be able to move right the way your body is designed can make every exercise better, and easier to do. But to give yourself some grace, and we spend so much energy trying to say, oh, this is too big, why do I even start? No, I mean, you go easy. You go easy and you start easy, and every little bit you do, you'll be able to do more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's wonderful. I love that you said that. So thank you so much, Dr. Christina, for taking the time to do this with us today. And I can't wait to get this up on our YouTube page and really announce it out to our team and to our patients, especially, to watch this, because it's gonna inspire a lot of people, because you were very real, very vulnerable, and you really shared stuff people don't like to talk about sometimes, but I think it's going to relate to a lot of people and inspire a lot more. So thank you so much for doing this.
Welcome, absolutely.
Okay. And I will see you on Monday.
Okay.
All right, bye now.